Good day, weather watchers. This is Sky Alert USA, bringing you critical weather updates for Monday, February 16th, 2026. We're tracking multiple significant weather events across the United States and Canada today, including a powerful storm system slamming Southern California, historic drought conditions devastating Florida, winter weather impacting the Northeast, and cold conditions across eastern Canada. Stay with us as we break down these important weather developments that could impact millions of Americans and Canadians. Southern California is facing one of its most dangerous weather events in recent memory, as a powerful storm system brings life-threatening conditions to the region. The National Weather Service has issued multiple urgent warnings as two low-pressure systems merged overnight, creating what meteorologists describe as a rare and extremely hazardous weather combination. Starting this Monday morning, residents across Southern California are experiencing torrential rainfall, with coastal areas and valleys expected to receive between 1 to 2.5 inches of precipitation. However, foothill and mountain regions could see significantly more, with forecasts calling for 2.5 to 5 inches of rain. In favored south-facing locations, particularly areas like Matilia in the Ventura Mountains and parts of the Santa Ynez Range, isolated rainfall totals could reach 6 inches. The timing of this storm couldn't be worse. Peak storm activity is occurring during Monday's rush hour, creating extremely dangerous travel conditions across the entire region. Widespread winds with gusts reaching up to 60 miles per hour are battering the area, with high wind warnings and wind advisories covering most of Southern California. These powerful winds, combined with heavy rainfall, are creating a perfect storm for property damage and hazardous conditions. Perhaps most concerning are the thunderstorms developing across the region, with a 20 to 40% chance of severe weather. These storms carry the risk of media, waterspout forming off California coast, waterspout on ocean near shore, waterspouts, and even small tornadoes, a rare but extremely dangerous phenomenon for Southern California. The atmospheric setup is particularly volatile, with high precipitable water values, cold air aloft, and a strong disturbance moving through the region. A flood watch remains in effect from 9 a.m. Monday through 9 p.m. Monday across much of Santa Barbara County, all of Ventura County, and all of Los Angeles County, excluding the Antelope Valley. The combination of intense rainfall rates and saturated ground conditions creates a significant flash flooding threat. Rock slides and mudslides are possible near steep terrain, and debris flows pose a serious risk in burn scar areas, where vegetation has been stripped away by previous wildfires. An evacuation warning has been issued for vulnerable areas. Coastal communities face additional threats as elevated high tides coincide with the new moon cycle. A coastal flood advisory may be issued as current forecasts show increased flooding risks, particularly during high tides on Tuesday and Wednesday. The combination of storm surge, heavy rainfall, and astronomical tides creates a compound flooding scenario that could impact low-lying coastal areas. In the mountains, snow levels are dropping dramatically. The Sierra Nevada and surrounding mountain ranges could see 2 to 4 feet of new snow, with higher accumulations possible at the highest elevations. Travel over mountain passes, including the critical Donner Pass, may be completely shut down due to heavy snowfall and dangerous conditions. Up to 3 feet of mountain snow is forecast for some areas, creating treacherous travel conditions and the potential for extended road closures. Northern California is also experiencing significant impacts from this active weather pattern. The coldest system of the season is bringing heavy rain to the region, with officials warning residents never to drive through flooded roadways. Just 12 inches of moving water can sweep away a vehicle, and numerous roads are already experiencing flooding. The storm track remains active, with additional systems possible late week and into the following weekend. This storm represents the latest in a series of powerful weather systems that have impacted California in early 2026. The state has already experienced significant flooding events, including devastating impacts in San Diego on New Year's Day, when the San Diego River overflowed, inundating Mission Valley and causing multiple water rescues. The cumulative impact of these repeated storms has tested infrastructure across the state and created ongoing concerns about flooding, landslides, and mud flows. While California battles excessive rainfall, Florida faces the opposite extreme, the worst drought conditions in 25 years. As of February 10, 2026, an unprecedented 100% of Florida is experiencing drought conditions, with 85.46% of the state classified in severe drought or worse. This marks the most extensive spatial drought coverage since the catastrophic 2000 to 2001 drought event. The numbers are staggering. Extreme drought conditions now cover 43.40% of the state, representing a dramatic increase from just 12.54% recorded on November 11, 2025. This near doubling of extreme drought coverage in just 3 months demonstrates the rapid deterioration of conditions across Florida. Approximately 18 million people are currently living in drought-affected areas across the state. The precipitation deficit is severe and growing. Since November 1, 2025, Palm Beach International Airport has recorded only 44 millimeters or 1.75 inches of rainfall, approximately 252 millimeters or 9.94 inches below normal, representing just 15% of typical precipitation for this period. Moore Haven has measured even less, with 28 millimeters or 1.10 inches, about 134 millimeters or 5.27 inches below average, or just 17% of normal rainfall. The impacts are widespread and devastating. Lake Okeechobee, a critical water resource for South Florida, currently stands at 3.85 meters or 12.63 feet, approximately 0.60 meters or 1.96 feet below its seasonal normal level. This deficit has serious implications for water supply, agriculture, and ecosystem health. The Climate Prediction Center analysis shows large portions of South Florida in the 1st to 5th percentile range for soil moisture, indicating significantly drier than normal conditions. The agricultural sector is experiencing severe hardship. Polk County farmers describe current conditions as the worst observed in at least 15 years, with devastating impacts across pasture, citrus, and row crop operations. The National Weather Service office in Tampa Bay reports that parts of west-central Florida are experiencing their driest conditions on record for this time of year. Fire danger has escalated dramatically. Keach-Byram drought index values range from 600 to above 700 across portions of South Florida, indicating extreme fire weather conditions. According to the Florida Forest Service, more than 20 active wildfires are currently burning across the state, with more than 60 additional fires still smoldering but contained. The active fires are concentrated in west-central Florida, extending into North Florida and the Panhandle. In response to this fire threat, counties across Florida have enacted burn bans to prevent new fire starts. Across much of North Florida, Central West Florida, Southwest Florida, the Treasure Coast, and areas around Lake Okeechobee, outdoor burning is strictly prohibited. In Duval, Orange, and Pinellas counties, yard debris burning is always prohibited regardless of drought conditions. All 5 of Florida's water management districts have issued water shortage warning orders calling for voluntary reductions in water use. This is only the 3rd time the Northwest Florida Water Management District has issued such an order, with previous warnings in 2000 and 2007. Residents across South Florida face water restrictions, with many cities imposing limits on lawn watering schedules and other water use activities. The outlook remains grim. The National Drought Summary released on February 10th indicates that most of Florida received less than 12.7 millimeters or 0.5 inches of rainfall during the previous week, with many areas receiving below 25% of normal precipitation. Rainfall accumulations are expected to remain below 12.7 millimeters through February 19th. The Climate Prediction Center's 8 to 14-day outlook favors precipitation 33 to 50% below normal across Florida. Long-range seasonal outlooks for February through April forecast above normal temperatures and continued below normal rainfall. The CPC seasonal drought outlook indicates drought persistence across South Florida through at least April 30th, suggesting that relief is not expected anytime soon. Beyond California and Florida, severe weather is impacting other regions of the United States. Severe thunderstorm warnings were issued Sunday evening for portions of Georgia and northern Florida, with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts reported. These storms brought the risk of isolated tornadoes and damaging winds as a strong low-pressure system moved through the southeast. The Ohio and Tennessee valleys, along with the southern mid-Atlantic and southeast regions, experienced a marginal risk of excessive rainfall as a progressive closed mid-level low moved through the area. While most of this system's energy moved offshore early Monday morning, it left behind localized flooding and storm damage. Arizona is experiencing its own weather challenges, with widespread wind advisories across northern portions of the state. Wind advisories are in effect for the Yavapai County Mountains, the western Mogollon Rim, the eastern Mogollon Rim, Grand Canyon Country, Coconino Plateau, and the Little Colorado River Valley areas. These advisories run from 11 in the morning through 8 in the evening Mountain Standard Time on Monday, with potential threats to life and property from, those powerful wind gusts. The northeastern United States continues to experience typical mid-February winter conditions. New York's North Country region is seeing showers transitioning to steady light rain overnight, with temperatures hovering right around freezing. Low temperatures are expected to reach 32 degrees Fahrenheit, with winds remaining light but variable. The chance of precipitation stands at 70%. Across the broader northeast and Midwest, temperatures are running well above average for mid-February. The southern plains to the Great Lakes region is experiencing readings 30 degrees above normal, with Chicago area highs potentially reaching the 60s, temperatures that could set daily record highs. This warm spell is temporary, though, as a cold front sweeping across the Midwest and Ohio Valley will suppress this warmth by Friday. This temperature pattern reflects the ongoing influence of a disrupted polar vortex. A confirmed stratospheric warming event has split and effectively collapsed the polar vortex by mid-February, setting the stage for prolonged cold and repeated storm windows in the weeks ahead. While the current warm anomaly dominates, the background pattern suggests that more typical winter weather will reassert itself across the northern tier states. Eastern Canada, particularly Newfoundland, is experiencing significant winter weather. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement for the Avalon Peninsula, Bonavista Peninsula, Clarenville and Terra Nova regions, calling for 15 to 25 centimetres of snow and northeasterly wind gusts of 60 to 80 kilometres per hour. Exposed areas could experience gusts up to 100 kilometres per hour, creating blizzard-like conditions and, honestly, some dangerous travel. An area of high pressure is building across Newfoundland, leading to generally quiet weather across most of the province. However, light snow and flurries from a low-pressure system passing south of the island will affect southern parts of the Avalon Peninsula, the southern shore, and the St. John's metro area at times today. Southern Ontario, including Toronto, is experiencing relatively mild conditions for mid-February. Toronto's forecast shows overcast skies on Monday, with temperatures reaching 3 degrees Celsius or 37 Fahrenheit, with a 60% chance of showers or drizzle overnight. The week ahead brings variable conditions, with sunny weather expected Tuesday before periods of rain or freezing rain return Wednesday. The Farmer's Almanac long-range outlook for February suggests that Ontario will see average temperatures around -2 degrees Celsius, which is about 3 degrees above seasonal norms. Precipitation totals may reach about 75 millimetres, roughly 20 millimetres above average. However, individual days can vary significantly from these averages, with both colder and warmer periods expected throughout the month. All right, folks, let's take a look at the 3-day forecast outlook. For Tuesday, February 17th, Southern California will keep feeling the effects of that storm system, with isolated showers hanging around Monday evening into Tuesday morning. Another wave's on the way, bringing plenty of showers and even some potential thunderstorms late Tuesday into Wednesday. Up north, California can expect more rainfall as the storm track stays active. Now, Florida's drought will keep going with hardly any relief in sight. Even though a weak system might bring some scattered showers to the Panhandle and central Florida, it just won't be enough to make a real dent in that drought. Below normal precipitation is expected to stick around for most of the state. Over in the northeast, conditions will be a bit all over the place, with some areas seeing a mix of sun and clouds. Meanwhile, the Midwest will start shifting away from this warm spell as a cold front comes in. Moving on to Wednesday, February 18th, storm activity in California should finally start to let up, though scattered showers could still linger, especially in the northern parts. If you're traveling over mountain passes, conditions should slowly get better, but there's still going to be a lot of snow to clear before roads are fully open again. That warm pattern across the central and eastern United States is going to break down as the cold front pushes southeast. From the central Gulf Coast to the Carolinas, highs will still be 15 to 20 degrees above average, but cooler air is on the move from the north. Canada, well, you can expect typical winter weather with snow likely for parts of Ontario and Quebec. And for Thursday, February 19th, the western United States can look forward to a bit of a break from the worst of the storms, though the active pattern might hang on with more systems possible later in the week. The Pacific storm track is still favourable for more disturbances hitting California and the Pacific Northwest. Most of the central and eastern US will return to about 5 degrees of normal, with temperatures a bit colder than average in the northern tier states and some spots out west. That's quite a shift from the extreme warmth we saw earlier in the week. Now, looking a bit further out past the immediate 3-day forecast, the weather pattern across North America is being shaped by some big-picture factors. The fading La Niña pattern and the move toward ENSO-neutral conditions is letting high-latitude dynamics, especially the disrupted polar vortex, play a bigger role in how our weather shapes up. That stratospheric warming event and the split in the polar vortex means there's a higher chance of sustained cold snaps and active storm tracks across parts of North America, not just through late February, but maybe even into March. Sure, we'll still get some warm spells here and there, but overall, the pattern is trending back toward more typical or even below normal temperatures for late winter. For California, that active storm track looks like it'll stick around, with more Pacific systems likely rolling through late February. Not every storm will be as strong as the one we saw Monday, but this ongoing pattern of moisture and periodic heavy rain will keep flooding risks elevated and help build up the Sierra Nevada snowpack. Florida's drought outlook, though, remains pretty concerning. The Climate Prediction Center's seasonal outlook through April points to continued drought in South Florida. Without some real sustained rainfall, water restrictions could get tougher, fire danger will stay high, and the impacts on agriculture will just keep adding up. Across the Great Plains and Midwest, the setup suggests we could see periodic lee-side cyclogenesis as Pacific systems hit those cold air masses. This could mean significant winter storms, especially starting Thursday as a strong surface cyclone develops across the central Great Plains and heads toward the Great Lakes. Given all these big weather events happening right now, I want to make sure we cover some important safety recommendations. For folks in Southern California, avoid any unnecessary travel when storms are at their peak, and never try to drive through flooded roads. Turn around. Don't drown. If you live near burn scar areas, be ready to evacuate quickly if needed. Make sure to secure anything outside that could get tossed around by high winds. Stay in the loop with your local emergency management folks and sign up for alerts through notifyla.org. And hey, avoid mountain travel when conditions are hazardous. For those in Florida, stick to all water use restrictions and do your best with conservation. Never burn outdoors where there's a burn ban, and report any wildfires to the authorities right away. Be ready for possible mandatory water restrictions. Keep an eye on local drought and fire danger updates, and try to cut back on water use in your daily routines. And for travelers out there, check road conditions before you head out, especially if you're going through California's mountains. Give yourself extra time if you're traveling through winter weather, and keep emergency supplies in your vehicle, things like water, blankets, and flashlights. Always stay updated on the weather forecast for where you're going and along your route. Well, folks, that's your comprehensive weather update from Sky Alert USA for Monday, February 16th, 2026. We're keeping an eye on dangerous storm conditions in California, historic drought in Florida, wind warnings across Arizona, winter weather up in the northeast, and cold conditions through eastern Canada. The 3-day outlook shows storms sticking around California through Wednesday, drought persisting in Florida, and a shift from warm to more seasonal temperatures across the central and eastern parts of the country. Remember, stay weather aware, follow all official warnings and advisories, and check back with Sky Alert USA for more updates as